If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
On July 3, 2024, news broke that Donald Trump would be hosting a major rally at the Butler Farm Showgrounds, located in Connoissing Township and Meridian, near Butler, Pennsylvania, on July 13th. Preparations kicked off on July 10th, with an advance team arriving to set up and install generators in the expansive open field. This rally is a key element of Trump's campaign strategy, aimed at boosting his support in Pennsylvania. According to some polls, Pennsylvania is poised to be a crucial battleground in the upcoming election. Trump stepped onto the stage at approximately 6:03 p.m. Remember to pay attention to the various timestamps mentioned in this video, as they are key to fully grasping the timeline of events. Once on stage, Trump immediately began criticizing the increase in illegal immigration during Joe Biden's presidency. Around 8 minutes into his speech, a significant and historic event took place right before our eyes.
If I go off teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn boring, I try and explain them. Oh, it is? Wow. You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big the red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Thomas Crooks fired a total of 8 shots into the rally, injuring Trump and 3 attendees before a Secret Service sniper took him down moments later. As the shots rang out, the crowd erupted with shouts of "Duck." An assassination attempt of this scale hasn't been witnessed in the United States for quite some time. Typically, the US has been proficient at stopping such threats before they materialize. But what went wrong this time? We'll rewind the clock and thoroughly investigate the factors leading up to this shocking event. From the multiple witnesses who noticed the shooter to the setup of the Secret Service counter-snipers on the roof, every detail matters. This is one half of the Secret Service counter-sniper team, the North Team. They are seen setting up their gear and equipment in a barn located on the left side of the stage when facing it. Meanwhile, the second half of the counter-sniper team, the South Side team, is stationed at barn number 14, positioned on the right side of the stage when facing it. They too are visibly setting up their gear. If visualizing their location and vantage points is challenging, here is an almost bird's eye view of the entire area. Curious about which team took out Thomas Crooks? We have the answer. Watch closely. The last gunshot you hear is from the Secret Service counter-snipers. Let's replay that moment. Let's examine this scene. The 2 buildings on the far side are where the Secret Service counter-snipers were positioned, while the building nearby was where the shooter was stationed. The yellow line indicates the line of sight from the North Team, showing how a tree obstructed their view of the shooter. The green line represents the South Team's line of sight, which was clear and unobstructed. This suggests that the South Team was likely responsible for taking down the shooter. Despite the successful neutralization of the threat, the Secret Service faces criticism for notable security lapses during the event. Director Kimberly Cheadle has admitted that the agency failed in its duty to protect former President Donald Trump. In a contentious congressional hearing, members from both major political parties demanded the resignation of Director Kimberly Cheadle over the security failures that allowed a gunman to reach her roof and fire at a campaign rally. Cheadle faced relentless criticism from both Republicans and Democrats, who were often frustrated by her reluctance reluctance to address questions about the ongoing investigation during the initial hearing on the July 13th incident. Cheadle called the attack on Trump the Secret Service's most serious operational failure in decades. She promised a thorough investigation to understand what went wrong and prevent future breaches. Additionally, Cheadle mentioned that she had apologized to Trump in a phone call following the assassination attempt. Cheadle admitted that the Secret Service had received between 2 and 5 warnings about a suspicious person before the shooting at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. She also revealed that the roof where Thomas Matthew Crooks fired from had been flagged as a potential security threat days before the event. These claims are backed by evidence. Thomas Crooks was seen by multiple witnesses, news outlets, local police, and even the Secret Service counter-snipers, yet no action was taken. At precisely 5:06 p.m., a video from an attendee's cell phone shows Crooks outside the secured perimeter of the rally. The footage clearly captures the shooter outside the fenced area, appearing to survey the building. The person recording the video decided to pan around and then return to find Thomas Crooks standing outside the fenced area. His static presence, as he stood and watched, made the situation increasingly unsettling. At precisely 5:14 p.m., one of the snipers took a photo of Crooks, who was seen using a rangefinder on his cell phone. This action led to Crooks being marked as a person of interest. Debriefing reports reveal that the counter-sniper had flagged the suspicious activity to the Secret Service roughly 20 minutes before the shooting began. Recent closed briefings to lawmakers have clarified the timeline leading up to the assassination attempt, revealing new details that have prompted further scrutiny. Questions have arisen about why the would-be assassin was not apprehended earlier and why Trump was allowed to take the stage at the rally. Thomas Crooks, the 20-year-old suspected shooter, was reportedly flagged by local police early on. They noted his unusual behavior and described him as a thin young man acting suspiciously. Police, including the Secret Service, were informed via radio about Crooks, who initially seemed unarmed. However, around 5:45 p.m., a counter-sniper officer noticed Crooks near the AG or International Building, which the gunman later climbed to target Trump. The officer captured a photo of Crooks with a rangefinder and promptly reported it to the command post. According to CBS News, by 5:50 p.m., just 19 minutes before the shooting, the Secret Service was alerted to Crooks' presence and the rangefinder. They shared this critical information with other officers on site. But guess what? After this, they lost sight of him, laughably hilarious. At 5:28 p.m., Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, present at the briefings, told Fox News that Crooks was considered suspicious because of the rangefinder and backpack, yet no decisive action followed. This all unfolded over an hour before the shooting, so it's surprising that Crooks was lost from sight during that period. Meanwhile, as the Secret Service attempted to track Crooks and then lost him, Donald Trump was heading to the rally. At 5:33 p.m., Trump's convoy arrived in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the crowd erupted in cheers.
Our President Trump is in one of those vehicles. There he is. We don't know which one, but we know he's there.
As the moment approached, Thomas Crooks was ready to sign his name on the pages of history. He had borrowed his father's DPMS Panther Arms AR-15 rifle, equipped with a 16-inch barrel and chambered for 5.56 by 45mm NATO ammunition, which is standard and suitable for the range he intended. Crooks also bought 50 rounds of ammunition and a 5-foot ladder, then drove to the rally site with an explosive device stowed in his trunk. He climbed onto the roof of a nearby building, ready to execute his plan. Crooks positioned himself for 100 feet north of the stage, atop a building that was home to 3 police snipers assigned to monitor the rally. However, due to a shortage of manpower, none of these snipers were on the roof. Because Crooks' location was outside the Secret Service's designated security perimeter, he bypassed security screening, as confirmed by law enforcement officials. Although Crooks managed to evade the Secret Service, he could not escape the attention of the crowd. Numerous eyewitnesses at the rally filmed and recorded him extensively.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there.
Where?
Right there, see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy. because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous.
As Trump continues his speech, tensions rise. Witnesses try to alert officers about the shooter, and some police begin moving toward the building. From her seat in the grandstands, a woman notices the commotion. She sees several people rushing toward the building where the shooter is positioned. During Trump's speech, this woman, seated directly behind him, observes the unusual activity and catches a fleeting glimpse of the situation unfolding. If the clip is slowed down and zoomed in, you might notice what appears to be a couple of officers running toward the building from the woman's vantage point. Although she likely couldn't see the shooter directly due to the tree line, the police cars and parking lot are visible in the background. The situation reached its peak with a series of clips showcasing the events occurring in different areas during the shooting.
If you want to see something that says
Trump was shot and sustained an injury to his upper right ear. He instinctively raised his hand to his ear and ducked behind the podium for cover. Secret Service agents quickly moved to protect him. Within about 25 seconds, the assailant was neutralized and agents helped Trump to his feet. Blood was visible on his ear and face, and he requested to put his shoes back on, explaining that the agent's response had caused them to come off. A lip reader observed Trump appearing to say something about being informed of his bleeding. As he was escorted off stage, Trump paused to raise his fist, pump it in the air, and shouted fight, fight, fight to the cheering crowd, which responded with chants of USA alongside Trump. 3 other individuals were injured, and tragically, 50-year-old Corey Comparatori from Sarver, Pennsylvania, was killed. Corey Comparatori, a project and tooling engineer and former chief of the Buffalo Township Volunteer Fire Company, tragically lost his life while protecting his wife and 2 daughters from the gunfire, according to his family and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. In addition to Comparatori, 2 other attendees were critically injured but reported to be in stable condition the following day. U.S. Representative Ronnie Jackson mentioned that a bullet grazed his nephew's neck. For police officers, standing only a few feet from Trump sustained minor injuries from flying debris when the bullet hit nearby objects. Trump was swiftly surrounded by Secret Service agents, who shielded him and escorted him to a car, ensuring his safety. In a lighter moment amid the chaos, local police found themselves trapped behind their own fence. Unable to get out, they had to use a police car to knock down the barrier, leading to a scramble as officers attempted to exit the area. Once the gate is knocked down, a large number of officers rush out and head toward the building. Watch for the officer with the ladder, who throws it over another fence. A Secret Service agent is seen running alongside the officers, who work to surround the building. Interestingly, the ladder ends up being unnecessary as the officers quickly climb onto the building without it. It almost seems as if the shooter had made it easier for them to get up there. After the area around the Butler Fairgrounds was secured, the Secret Service convoy hurried Trump to the hospital. They arrived shortly after, and the relief and happiness from the medical staff and first responders were evident.
We're front row, and my friend saw blood coming out of his head.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus!
There he is.
Oh,
There he is. There he is. There he is.
There he is. Oh, thank God! He's walking.
He's walking. He's walking.
Soon after being declared safe, Trump took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to share his experience. He expressed gratitude to law enforcement and the Secret Service and extended his condolences to the families of those who were killed and injured. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Politicians across the U.S., as well as high-ranking foreign officials, united in offering their condolences to Trump. Meanwhile, Thomas Crooks's body was retrieved from the rooftop by police and initially found without identification. The FBI later confirmed his identity using fingerprint biometrics and DNA analysis. The case is being investigated as both an assassination attempt and an act of domestic terrorism. Explosives were discovered both at Crooks' home and in the car he drove to the rally. Additionally, a remote transmitter was found in his pocket, and he possessed the smartphones and at least one laptop. After the shooting, FBI lab technicians performed mobile device forensics on Crooks' smartphones, bypassing their security features. An Electronic Frontier Foundation researcher suggested that this was likely achieved using a celibate device or a proprietary method. The investigation uncovered that Crooks had been searching for images of Trump, Biden, and other public figures, as well as schedules for Trump's rallies and the Democratic National Convention. Additionally, in April 2024, he looked up information on major depressive disorder, although it's unclear if he had been diagnosed. A post attributed to him on the gaming platform Steam mentioned, "July 13th will be my premiere. Watch as it unfolds," but its authenticity remains in question. As more details come to light, the investigation into the attempted assassination of Trump is ongoing. This remains a pivotal moment in history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more compelling content, be sure to subscribe to my channel.